Feeling tired? Reaching for that energy drink or a fancy coffee? We all do it. But have you ever wondered how much caffeine you're actually putting into your body? And what does that really mean for you, especially as a student? Today, we're unpacking the real buzz behind your favorite drinks, how much caffeine is in that Starbucks latte, that can of Red Bull, or even a simple cup of coffee. Let's dive in and take a closer look at what's really inside your cup. Before we start comparing, let's set a baseline. When people talk about a cup of coffee, what are they really talking about? For this guide, we're using a standard 8-ounce cup of brewed coffee. Think of the classic mug you might have at breakfast. That typical cup contains about 95 milligrams of caffeine. We'll use this as our measuring stick for everything else. A simple way to compare all those complicated drinks. So whenever you hear 1 cup of coffee, picture that 8 ounces with 95 milligrams of caffeine. Every drink we discuss today will be matched up against this standard, so you can easily see how they stack up. Let's start with Starbucks, a place countless students and adults visit for their daily dose of energy. But not all Starbucks drinks are created equal when it comes to caffeine. Let's break down the numbers and convert them into our cups of coffee scale. First up, the Grande Pike Place Roast. This is Starbucks' classic brewed coffee, and a grande size is 16 ounces, twice our standard cup. But here's the kicker. It packs a whopping 310 milligrams of caffeine. That's equal to about 3.25 standard cups of coffee. So, if you're grabbing a grande brewed coffee, you're getting more than 3 cups worth of caffeine in just one drink. What about a grande latte? Many people think lattes are milder. And in terms of caffeine, that's true. A grande latte, also 16 ounces, comes in at about 150 milligrams of caffeine. That's roughly 1.5 cups of coffee. Not as intense as the brewed coffee, but still more than a single cup. Next, we've got the Grande Cold Brew, another popular pick. This one contains around 205 milligrams of caffeine, which comes out to just over 2 cups of coffee, about 2.95 to be precise. Cold brew is known for its smooth taste and strong kick, and now you know why. But what about the fruity options, like the Strawberry Açaí Refresher? You might think these are caffeine-free, but a Grande Refresher has about 45 milligrams of caffeine. That's nearly half a cup of coffee. Not huge, but still something to consider, especially if you're having one late in the day. And then there's the classic espresso shot. Each shot contains about 75 milligrams of caffeine, which is just under a cup, about 0.8 gulps of coffee. So if your favorite drink includes multiple shots, remember to add those up. As you can see, Starbucks drinks vary widely in caffeine content. A simple brewed coffee can have more than 3 times the caffeine of a standard cup, while a latte is closer to 1.5. Even the colorful refreshers have a small caffeine boost, so keep an eye on your choices. The difference can be pretty dramatic. Now, let's talk about energy drinks, the go-to pick for many students looking for a quick boost before a test or a big game. These drinks are famous for their flashy cans and promises of instant energy, but how do they compare in terms of caffeine? Let's start with Red Bull, one of the most recognizable names. A standard 8.4-ounce can of Red Bull contains about 80 milligrams of caffeine, which is just under a cup of coffee, about 0.8 cups. Not too crazy, but enough for a noticeable lift. Next, Monster Energy. This popular drink comes in a large 16-ounce can, packing about 160 milligrams of caffeine. That's roughly 1.7 cups of coffee, almost double what you'd get from a Red Bull, and more than a single cup of regular coffee. And then there's Bang Energy, which has become a favorite for those seeking maximum energy. A 16-ounce can of Bang contains a staggering 300 milligrams of caffeine, equal to about 3.15 cups of coffee. That's nearly as much as the Grande Pike Place Roast from Starbucks, but in a single can. That's a lot of buzz in one drink. Comparing these side by side, you can see just how different each product is. A can of Bang or a Grande coffee can have more than 3 times the caffeine of a Red Bull or a single espresso shot. And if you're having more than one drink in a day, that caffeine can add up quickly. So, what does all this mean for you? Caffeine affects everyone differently, but too much can lead to some uncomfortable side effects: jitteriness, trouble sleeping, an upset stomach, or even feeling anxious or restless. That's why health experts, including the FDA, recommend that most healthy adults keep their caffeine intake under 400 milligrams per day. That's about 4 cups of standard coffee. But for students and younger people, the recommended limit is much lower, usually around 100 milligrams per day, or just about 1 cup of coffee. Why? Because younger bodies process caffeine differently, and too much can have bigger effects on sleep, mood, and even heart rate. So here are a few key tips to keep in mind. First, always check the labels. Many drinks now list their caffeine content right on the can or cup. If not, a quick search can help you figure it out. Second, listen to your body. If you start to feel shaky, anxious, or have trouble sleeping, it might be a sign you've had too much caffeine. Third, remember to hydrate. Caffeinated drinks can make you feel less thirsty, but water is still the best way to stay hydrated. And finally, don't rely only on caffeine for energy. Getting enough sleep, eating well, and taking breaks are the best ways to keep your energy up all day. Next time you reach for a drink to power through your studies or a workout, take a moment to think about its caffeine content. Understanding what you're drinking can help you make smarter choices and avoid that unwanted caffeine crash. So, what's your go-to drink? Share your favorite in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more helpful tips on staying healthy and energized.